Alright, so we're back in the garage. We're actually going to be working on a project we haven't seen in a while. You saw me pull the motor out a very long time ago, and it's just kind of been sitting. And that's because everything you're going to see me do moving forward cost a considerable amount of money compared to the other projects. I spent more in the last 2 weeks on this car than I have tied up in the entire Ram truck. So it's just one of those ones where it's a very expensive toy, and I've had a hard time spending the money on it. So we are working on this. So we got it out of the corner, uncovered, and we are going to hit it up with some degreaser because it is filthy as you remember it. And we are going to get her cleaned up. Wow. I didn't realize this thing was just hanging on by like 1 or 2 bolts. We're gonna get her outside, we're gonna clean her up, make it look nice, and then we'll start playing with this bad boy. We got some big things in store. So I'll set up a little time lapse, we'll get that going and get it all cleaned up, and then we'll go from there. Alright everybody, the mailman came, the parts fairy, and we have some very nice toys here. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but in any of the other videos, but there's a bench here. Not just a pile of crap. An actual, like, workbench. It's amazing. But we have a set of Precision Race Components heads, and these are PRC heads. They are from Texas Speed. These are very nice units. They are the 247cc runners, big valves, big lift, springs, the whole 9 yards. So we got these all spec'd for our motor. I had to find the old build sheets and actually a couple of pictures that I had fortunately still have that had some piston information and stuff on it, because that motor had a full build on it and I didn't exactly know what the specs were off the top of my head. So that took a little bit of doing to figure out. But I got all that information sent over to Texas Speed and they spec'd out these heads for me. So I've got head gaskets right there. I've got exhaust gaskets right there. We're going to the metal stuff. I've used the Felpro stuff before, and they always seem to leak. So I'm gonna try these metal ones and see if they are better. It's a multi-piece metal stock replacement, and then these are the stock replacement ones as well. I got these from Texas Speed as well. Got these from the old eBay, or no, Amazon. So the plan is, we're gonna get the motor out here, and we are going to probably set up right here somewhere, and basically one head for one head. We'll pull a head off, we'll lay out everything right here on the bench, you know, all the way down so nothing gets weird. We'll put the heads and everything over here where I'm putting stuff. And then we'll put the new head on, new head gasket, new head, torque, put all the valves and everything back together, and then we'll move on to the next side. And this way I can ensure everything goes right back where it's supposed to, and we'll clean everything up and make sure everything looks good. So that's the plan. We'll go ahead and get everything moved over here and get going with it. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing torn down. I just opened up the oil. It looks pretty good. There was a bit of stuff on the mag plug, but nothing crazy. This motor doesn't actually have that many miles on it since it was rebuilt. It's been a lot of time, but not a lot of miles. So we're going to start off by just taking off a lot of the things from the top of the motor. Take the steam port off. I'm going to take a steam port off the back because these heads are no more. Oh wow. And there was some water in there. Also, apparently that bolt isn't tight. That's not cool. So yeah, you can see where we had to clearance this because when the original shop built the motor, they actually put these 1A rockers in, which actually ended up hitting a lot of things. So that was a problem. Which the rockers seem to be in pretty good condition. Now that was not tight. Wonder why that one was not tight. Awesome, because that one's stripped. That's cute. So that sucks. The rocker arm here. Alright, so we're doing with the right. This is the number 2 intake. Interesting. It's like it was rubbing. That's not good. So as you can see, what I'm talking about here is there's like a wear mark on these push rods, and I don't know if that's going to be requiring a change type of deal. Well, that sucks. That means we're not putting. Well, we can put the motor pretty much back together. Just won't do the rockers and whatnot, which is not the end of the world. It's just more parts we got to freaking order. Like I said, it's not terrible. It's not the end of the world, but it does suck when you think you have all the parts to do a project, and then you get into it and you realize that brand new parts that were put in the motor were not necessarily what was going to fit right in the motor, and have become an issue. That's not a good thing to find. So just found that sitting in the top of the valley pan, or in the top of the head. Looks like it might be a piece of freaking spring, maybe. I don't know. It's uncool to find. So we had some corrosion on that one. Oh, that hurt. Yep, we got a little bit of rust. Oh, wow. Okay. So this was the cylinder we lost the spring on, apparently. We got another broken spring. Yeah. That's what happened here. That's why it was running like crap. Another broken exhaust spring. And that's why this thing was running weird. So yeah, now I'm gonna have to get a little further into this motor than I wanted to, unfortunately. All right, so the Z's motor was actually worse than we thought, as you saw, as I was pulling it out. I'm gonna get you a closer look at what was going on here. So this is the number 3 hole, and its spring is broken. And I first noticed a piece of metal up in here, and I thought it looked like a spring, and then sure enough, when I pulled the head off, I actually saw this. You can see it was contacting here. Not enough to really, it just kind of did a little bit of number here, which I'll just take a file and probably clean that up. But other than that, everything looks good. The pistons come up to the deck good. Everything seems to move good. For a second when I was turning it over, that piston wasn't moving. I thought, for a minute there I got scared, but it was okay, we're good. So I'm gonna continue to get this thing drained, turned over. We're going to pull the pan and get a look at the bottom. I have a pretty sneaking suspicion that this does not have a windage tray in it. I think it should. So I'm gonna get it flipped over, pull the pan, and that's probably where we'll stop for today. All right. We have stuff in the pan. I don't know if you hear that, but that's less than good. All right, so yeah, we got to the end. I don't know why I thought this engine didn't have a windage tray on it. For some reason I thought they didn't put one on it, but it totally does. So the tray is still on it. Looks like they clearanced it with spacers is how it got done, so that's no big deal. Pan's on there like it's supposed to be. Everything looks good down here. The only problem is there's definitely some metal, probably a piece of spring, down in the oil pan, which means that it fell through, which scares me a little bit. So I probably will end up pulling this windage tray and getting a good look in there to make sure there's not a piece of metal or something down inside the motor. So, what's up, bud?
I can hear a watch.
I'm about done. So yeah, that's where we're probably gonna get for today. I will end up getting into the motor a little further, figuring out if there is any pieces of the spring down in there, because that's the other part, is I can't really put together exactly all the pieces here on the spring. So it definitely looks like we lost a couple of pieces, and all I found was that little guy in top. So yeah, all I gotta do is try and find the rest of that stuff that is in the pan. Hopefully I can get it out of in here. The problem is with this is you can't pull the windage tray. So yeah, everything down inside of this that gets down in there, there's no real way to get out. So I have to figure out how we're gonna do that. I'll probably end up cleaning this and then get in there somehow. Like I said, I don't exactly know how you can. So if I don't know if you heard that. So yeah, I don't know what that is, but anytime there's metal moving around in your oil pan, that's never a good sign. So this quick little project of swapping heads on turned into a bit more of a project, but I can't say I'm too terribly surprised. So I'll end up probably stripping it down a little more off camera.